True Black Africans and African Americans do not claim Black Americans.
They are Americans. They don't know where they're from, you know.
I think American black people are the most lost black people in the world.
Like my mom would tell me not to marry that.
Yeah.
Right. She says it all the time.
My parents are both from Grenada. They came here in the 80s and 90s. So what he was saying about how they think that black people are lazy does resonate with me, because I've heard that a lot.
Don't go and talk to those black Americans though. You just go and get pregnant. You get into drugs. You start become the gang banging. Just go to the white community, find a nice place. Just go and be decent. Stay with the white people.
We don't want them here.
They're your brothers and sisters.
They're not our brothers.
What does Akata mean?
That is American.
It means American.
That's a black American, actually.
So that's.
Oh, yes.
So that's.
Well, no. Okay, so do you know what FBA is?
FBA.
He be on the other side now. He be on Nigerian Twitter for real.
I don't know what FBA is.
Okay. So FBA is like, it means Foundational Black American.
Oh man.
Oh,
okay.
Goodness.
So
We talk about it.
They told me Akata was like the N-word. That's what they said. Is that not true?
In a sense.
It just means American person, right?
It's a black American.
How do you feel about black Americans, bro?
I feel like they are overrated.
Do you identify as black or as Ethiopian?
Definitely Ethiopian.
You Ethiopian first, and then, like, you don't consider yourself black at all?
No, I've never considered myself as a black.
Gonna compare different things. It's like, really what y'all mad about, like B said, like, y'all just don't have no roots. Y'all don't have no history for real. Yeah. The only history that y'all really have is we were slaves and somebody, fixed it for us, and then we back here. I mean, the only history that I really could say y'all physically probably have was probably the time when Martin Luther King and them was here, because I feel like they did, like, a lot more as far as the black, African American culture for y'all. But other than that, it's like y'all really don't have nothing. Like, y'all can't even say, like, y'all really don't have no food. Like, yeah, fried chicken and stuff, but white people eat that. You guys are white and black. Y'all are still Americans. You get what I'm saying? So only the difference that between the African Americans and, like, Americans that live in the United States is that one's white and one's black. But y'all honestly came from the same roots. The only thing is, y'all was slaves and y'all was manipulated to feel like y'all was so different, but y'all are just the same as both of them. So I just feel like it's more so like, not even that it's beef, it's just hate. It's just not even hate, it's envy.
It's more like educated. People gotta be more educated.
And then I also feel like people just are so just ignorant at that. Like, ignorant. Like, Haitians, we were slave at a point, but we wasn't like slaves like how, y'all was on this land.
Yeah, we got our independence.
We kind of did things differently, but I just feel like if
I'm from West Africa, Liberia, and I'm done with this rhetoric from Africans, right? Oh, we don't like black Americans because they're rude, they're ghetto, they are so entitled. No. The reason why Africans don't like black Americans, and this coming from an African, right? Africans are jealous of black Americans. Africans wish that they had the opportunities like black Americans do. They wish they was in America. They wish they have the freedom of right that black Americans have. They wish that they have freedom to go to any school of your choice, right? They wish to have all the benefits black Americans have being in America. They jealous black Americans. So
Africans sure got a lot to say about American blacks. Bet. Africans don't dislike black Americans because we lost our culture. It's because deep down, y'all jealous. Y'all jealous that we the cultural engine. We created the music, the fashion, the slang that influences the whole world, buddy. Y'all really hate it didn't come from y'all, huh? Y'all bought the lie that we was just descendants of slaves, knowing it wasn't true. Cause real talk, our people was already here, bucko. You not looking down on your long lost brothers and sisters. Y'all looking at a stranger.
I don't know why you guys from Africa don't like black Americans. We all brothers and sisters, but a lot of Africans, especially in New York City, don't like the black Americans. Why? I don't understand, but that is the truth. But can we just talk about how African Americans and Africans don't even look that different?
I am convinced that a lot of West Africans do not have a good idea of what they actually look like. Because as a black American, I can tell from a mile away whether you're Black American or whether you're African. And it has nothing to do with your facial features. It has nothing to do with your skin tone. It has nothing to do with your hair texture. I can tell by looking in your eyes whether you are African or Black American. Black Americans are 400 years removed from Africa. Majority of Africans have 90 to 100% African DNA. Majority of Black Americans have about 20% European DNA. So you're not going to sit up here and tell me that I look like someone who has 90 to 100% African in them when I'm 1/3 white. And I think the big issue here is I feel like a lot of African people feel as if a Black American person is saying, oh, we don't look like you, then we're calling you ugly. No, that's not the case. We just don't look like you. Any Black American would be able to look at you and say, oh yeah, you're African, or hey, you're Jamaican, or hey, you're a Black American. Because we as a community have built such a tight-knit community that we know who our people are. We know our kinfolk. And us saying that we do not look like you and that we can tell the difference it's not throwing shade at you at all. It's not saying, oh, you're less attractive or that we're better than you. It's not saying that at all. I've had so many Africans say, oh, you look like you're from South Africa. You look Egyptian. You look like you're from East Africa. You look like everything except for the fact that my ancestry is West African. Honey, no. The features that you see that don't look 100% West African, it's just European DNA. And it's from slavery. And I wish a lot of African people would just stop trying to gaslight Black Americans and just respect the fact that we are a separate group of people with our own cultures, with our own identities, with our own separate looks.
You see, this is the problem with African immigrants, and this is the problem with immigrants generally coming to America. One, not understanding the history that Black Americans have literally built in America, building America, inventing America, even before everything. Not also understanding that for the fact that they are in America today is a product of Black Americans suffering. They did the matching, they did everything for you to be in America as immigrants. And you know the stupid part is the fact that they said immigrants that are always calling Black Americans lazy, always calling them, oh, single mother, single father, and the rest of that. They have the same single mother, single fathers in their own country, like in a worse bad situation. I have a lot of things to say first, because when I saw this particular clip, I was so pissed off. The fact that you don't want to identify as a Black person, but you want to look at a Black American person and be like, oh, you look Africa. Oh, you need to identify as Africa. Oh, why are you saying you are not Africa? Oh, do you know that you are all enslaved for Africa? It's quite crazy for me. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Credit to the original creators. Let's roll at the clips, and I'll be back with commentaries because I have a lot of things to say at the end of this video. And drop me your thoughts in the comments as well. Let's go, guys.
Good. You look African.
But nah, I ain't African. I just look African.
Yeah, you look African.
Yeah.
Like someone from, Nigeria, Ghana.
Oh, Ghana, nah. I'm from North Carolina, but I live down here in Miami.
How long have you been living in Miami?
I've been living in Miami about 4 months.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a personal trainer and I'm a party promoter.
Are you also a content creator?
I want to know, what is the obsession with a lot of African and people of Caribbean descent telling Black Americans that we look Caribbean, that we look African, that we look West African or East African or South African? It's never North African though. But what is the obsession with y'all trying to tell us what we look like? Do y'all see us going around telling y'all look Cherokee? Y'all look, Choctaw? Y'all look Gullah Geechee? Y'all look Seminole? No, we don't do that. Just because someone looks like you don't mean that you can determine or dictate what they are and who they are. This obsession that y'all have with trying to tell a Black American what they look like, we don't look like a Nigerian. We don't look like a Ghanaian. We look like a Black American. Black Americans come in every shape, size, color, whatever you name it. We can be the lightest of the light and the darkest of the dark. It does not matter. We can have the biggest noses, the smallest noses, the biggest lips, the littlest lips. It does not matter. We have a distinct look. We look like the Aboriginal Australians, but we don't go around saying that we're Aboriginal Australians. We look like Melanesians and people of Pacific Islanders, but y'all don't see us going around saying that we're Pacific Islanders or Melanesian. Because if Black Americans went around telling Africans what they look like, and it's not their people and who they are and the ethnic group that they're from, y'all are gonna flip, Caribbeans included. Why do y'all feel so entitled to telling Black Americans what they look like and where they come from? Like, I really want this question answered. Because nobody unalived and put y'all in charge of and dictating who is who and what is what. It's crazy and it's weird. And it's only y'all that do that. Any other time we come in contact with a original Asian, a melanated Asian, anything else, they don't do that. But y'all do. What is the reason? I know the reason is because y'all want to be the face of blackness. And y'all are upset that black Americans are the face of blackness. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn around and say that we resemble y'all. And we are y'all. So then that means y'all can be the originals and be the face of blackness. I can always tell y'all it's an identity crisis. And it's jealousy. And what do jealous people do? They're going to humble you. Insecure people are going to try to humble you. And stoop and make you stoop to their level. Because they don't like themselves. So they're going to make you not like themselves. And a lot of them equate African features to ugliness. A lot of these people do not like themselves. Or their ethnic background. That's why I try so hard to fit in with black Americans. And cosplay black Americans. Because we made being black American cool. And they want to be a part of that because they can't do that on their own. They don't want to put in the effort. They don't want to put in the time or the creativity that it takes to have a culture that's constantly expanding and creating new culture. So they're going to rely on us to put in all the work so they can go in and, we look like y'all and y'all look like us. So that means we can do what y'all do and we the same people. No. And this is why I say we need to keep delineating. Keep getting on these people's heads. Start telling them that no, you are not us and we are not y'all. And that is okay. I don't understand the obsession with trying to be the same. Because when y'all first got to America, me no black. Now all of a sudden, y'all are being targeted by the Trump administration. Now we all black. Even 3 or 4 years ago, y'all wasn't claiming to be black. Now all of a sudden, we're all black. This is what I'm talking about. It's weird.
So exactly where are African Americans from? I've seen this question time and time again, floating around TikTok. So since I'm African American, I just thought maybe I'd answer it. So African Americans have ancient ancestry and ancestry. Ancient ancestry has to do with our ancestors in Africa. Our ancestry has to do with our ancestors in America. This is how I split it up to make it easier for people who are confused. So now to the question, where are you from? Well, the answer is the United States of America. This is obvious by our ethnic group, African American, or some say Black American. And because that's obvious, we'll normally say what state we're from. South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Alaska, California, New York, any one of the United States. Our forefathers run 500-600 years deep here. So those are our ancestors. Those are our forefathers. They're African American as well. So literally, that is where we're from. However, for those who want to know from where in Africa we have come from, there really isn't a one place. So the question is kind of not right. African Americans have a multi-ethnic background when it comes to our ancient ancestry, meaning there's not a one place in Africa that our ancient ancestors are from. They come from multiple places and multiple ethnic groups in Africa. During the transatlantic slave trade, all of the ethnic groups that were sold or stolen over to the Americas, and I'm just going to speak for the United States, all those ethnic groups saw each other as one. And for 500, 600 long years, we were one. And we are one. Our forefathers in America already knew this. They were all speaking different languages when they got here, but everyone learned the same language, English, and we all created our own culture here, and we became one. It wasn't multiple ethnicities. There was no tribalism. They knew they came from different places. So this explains our ancient ancestry. So when you meet an African American and you expect them to say, I come from this particular place in Africa, it's not quite that simple. We come from America, and our ancient ancestry is multi-ethnic, all across West Africa, even Central Africa, and some people even have some East African. Another thing, it's better to even ask, do you know which ethnic groups your ancient ancestors come from? It's not as correct to ask what place. because some of them places might not have even been places during the transatlantic slave trade. Now you get it?
So people mad that black Americans are saying that they ain't no damn African, they black Americans. I need y'all to watch this real quick. This is a video in 2022 when this lady is saying, don't call me African American, I'm African. This is another video, I believe this was in 2021, 2022. He said, I'm African, not American. This is another video saying, I'm not black American, I'm African. Another video saying in 2022 saying, don't call me African American, I'm African. Another video in 2022 saying, I'm not African American, I'm African, right? She was stitching it because somebody else was saying it. Another video saying, I'm not black, I'm African in 2025. A Caribbean woman, right? Oh no, she's from the Congo, saying, I'm not African American, I'm Congolese. Another video, I believe this is recently, that's saying, I'm African, not black American. Another video in 2025 saying, I'm not black, I'm African. Another video again, 2025, saying, I'm not black, I'm African. We saw this video, he actually was disrespectful with it. He said, I'm African, I didn't come in chains, I came on the plane. And this was all jokes. He laughed with the white tee. Another video in 2024 saying, I'm not African American, I'm African. Another woman talking about, wow, she was shocked at the fact that she was called black because she's not black, she's African. I believe this woman's from Algeria. She says, I'm African, not black. Another one, 2022. This was a trend, by the way. Don't call me African American. I'm insert country, American or insert country. This was an actual TikTok trend is what I'm telling you right now. Another one, very disrespectful, said, I'm not black, I'm African in 2024. She let it be known. This was, I believe, an Indian dude that talked about how racist Africans was towards black Americans. Shout out to Exit Plan Man. So what I'm saying is for the last 65 years, it's been this disrespect, right? This vile, nasty, demonic energy of making sure people wanted to delineate and separate from us. They made sure they tucked their shirt, buttoned up their shirt, they tucked their shirt in their pants, they wore their dress shoes. They made sure they looked different than us. They made sure they let it be known, I'm not those black Americans, I'm not those so-called African Americans, right? So now when black Americans say, okay, well, shout outs to y'all, right? We're going to keep that same energy. You right. We was bugging. We thought we all one, we all black, and we see that everybody got their cultural and social boundaries. So now when black Americans say, you know what, we want to keep our cultural and social, economic, and political boundaries, you right. I ain't African, I'm black American. Now is an uproar. So it seems like people they want to be able to say they're not us. But the moment we say, hold on, family, we're not African, we're black Americans, the world is jumping up and down and going crazy, and it's the worst thing in the world. We're so, call it the boogeyman names, xenophobic, hatred, jealousy, and all this. All the boogeyman names come out all of a sudden. This is called emotional blackmail. This is emotional blackmail. This is what I'm talking about. Where people want to kind of shame you into claiming them. You see them on this app every day begging for us to be African every single day. Please say you African. Please claim African. They on their hands and knees every day on this app to claim because now it's cool to be us on a global scale. It is, again, I just want to kind of clear that up. You know I always bring the stats, facts, and numbers, family. Love you. Peace, love, key. Y'all be safe. It's crazy.
We are not African. We are black Americans. I don't know what's y'all obsession with wanting us to claim Africa so freaking bad. I don't get it. And it goes to show that y'all don't know anything about history. So let me give you a history lesson. Welcome to another history lesson. The reason why we are called black Americans and not African Americans is because we have no association with Africa. Though enslaved Africans came to this country between the time period of 1640 and 1710, which would be considered the first generation of slave owners. Up until 1691 and 1710, enslaved Africans were categorized by where they were from, either the location, the territory, the tribe, so they were able to keep their names and still be able to talk amongst each other. Still be able to keep their traditions, their practice, and their culture alive. But after the rebellion plot in 1663 in Gloucester, Virginia, and after Bacon's rebellion in 1676, they stripped the enslaved Africans of that and just called them Negroes, categorized them in one group, and then categorized all Caucasian people in one group and called it the white race that was between 1691 and 1710. That's almost 6 generations ago. So what you're doing is you're asking or telling Black Americans today to go back 6 generations and connect that to Africa. Y'all are African Americans. It don't work like that. After the first generation of enslaved African came to this land, that next generation was born into slavery. You do realize that, right? Their children were born into slavery. Then their children was born into slavery. Then their children was born into slavery. What connection do those generations have with Africa at all? They don't know anything about Africa. They're not familiar with the culture, the practices, none of that. They've never touched Africa, seen the soil, none of that. So how can they call themselves African American if they have no connection with Africa whatsoever? We're not even talking about the fact that they were mixing families up, ripping families apart. Oh, this is a family, the father goes here, the mother goes here, the daughters and kids go over here, the son go over here. They were mixing up families. Like I said, y'all are not as intelligent when it comes to history, and y'all don't know your history. So when y'all talk about certain topics, it comes off as unintelligent and ignorant because you don't do your research on the topics that you're talking about. And this is a prime example. Leave Black Americans alone. We don't bother nobody. Y'all already copy us. Y'all already mimic us. Y'all already cosplay us. Y'all, for some reason, that culture is so thick and rich with just, traditions and all this other stuff, but y'all don't want to do that. Y'all be worried about what we got going on. We are not all in the same boat. We didn't all have the same experience. We didn't all come from the same generational trauma. I remember the first time I went to Charleston. I cried the first time I went into Charleston. Couldn't figure out why I was crying first time I went into Charleston. When I got older, did some research, I felt real heavy emotions, it was real thick, like a thick energy. I couldn't figure out what was going on. Did some homework, come to find out Charleston, aka Charlestown, was the first city in the South to get chattel slavery popping. I mean, they had it booming. The planters came straight from Barbados, straight to Charleston. They seen that swamp water, knew they couldn't go out there. They knew the rice coast in Africa, where the Africans was already doing this, snatch them up, brought them right over here to Charleston. Y'all going out there, make that rice for us. Yeah, I'm dead serious. Couldn't figure out why I felt this heavy feeling when I went to Charleston. I was boohoo crying driving into Charleston. First time I ever went into Charleston. Same thing when I went into Florida. Couldn't figure out why. I was just so overcome with emotion, and to come to find out Florida was the first state that the slaves were running to for freedom. In the first generation of slave ownership, that was between the time period of, like I said, 1642 sometime around 1710. Yeah. You got to start doing your homework. Y'all got to start doing research. Y'all got to start reading. You got to start going back in history. You got to start understanding why things are the way that they are.
You know what? You new age wannabe indigenous to America Black folks are utterly irritating.
Halito, welcome back Soul Tribe. This is WAA Reacts and I am Empress T. Now today's video we are going to highlight a young man who is half Jamaican and half Black American, he says. And he has some questions and also some concerns about why we are now all of a sudden going around saying that we are the original people of America and that we are not African, and he has a problem with it. So I think you would really, really enjoy this video, and check out my reactions in the video. I will talk to you later. Peace.
Like serious business. The whole entire world of Black folks, right? From everywhere else, right? From Africa, from the Caribbean, from South America, and even in Europe, in Canada, north of here. All of them are all in accordance to the fact that we are all descendants of Africans. All of them.
Americans keep saying African American. You've never been to Africa, bro. If y'all would protest that, they would change that shit. That African American shit to me, dog. You American.
Nah, not really.
No, it ain't. When you take a DNA test, leave it black. Nah.
All of them are all in accordance to the fact that we are all descendants of Africans. All of them.
This is an island of 94% is of the Melanite nation. We are indigenous to this island. Do not get it twisted. We very well knew our history, our roots, all the records, where we're from, and where we're heading.
All of them are all in accordance to the fact that we are all descendants of Africans. All of them.
Ain't Jamaicans Nigerians?
No.
Never that.
A lot of West Africans have this concept because slaves were taken from West Africa and dropped in the Caribbean. One must understand there were people there first.
Yeah.
There were people there first. Even on the Jamaican coat of arms, there are Indians there. And people be like, oh, so where did the Indians come from? This is the West Indies.
All of them are all in accordance to the fact that we are all descendants of Africans. All of them.
I'm not African either. I live in Africa. I'm Somali. I speak Somali. This is my flag. Stop bullying us. I'm not black. This is black. I'm not black. I'm not African either.
Right? Y'all are the only ones here in America basically bringing up this bullshit saying that you are not African and that you are indigenous to America. Your culture always been here ever since the beginning of time, which is a fucking lie.
All a lie. Everything we've been taught in the American education system is all a lie. Yes, Native Americans weren't the original people of this land. We actually took it from black people. We were so good at it that we just wiped out any trace of their language and their culture.
And then you try to run this whole thing about, you know, certain people, the powers that be lied to you about being from here, that originally you were from here and that none of your people were brought here on merchant ships, you know what I mean, as in captivity as slaves.
Is that the black population of the U.S., which of course amounted at the time of the Civil War to something like 4 million people, those people did not come from Africa. Those people did not come from Africa. They came as a result of natural population growth.
Yeah.
The slave trade to the U.S. was shut down largely in 1807, not completely, but largely. So if you look at the census data for the U.S. in 1870, which is when black people were finally included, you'll find almost no Africans. They were, of course, native African Americans. And that's not something that people have taken on board.
Like, y'all are really, it's getting to the point where it's so many of y'all now, all of a sudden in 2024, you decide we're not African.
What's happening is, Black America, we was asleep. We was knocked out cold. We were hard sleepers. But since we started to wake up, since we started to wake up, now it's harder for these people to come in our house and steal because we can see them, we can hear them. We're literally watching you. No, you can't do that. And these people are upset. They need us to go back to sleep. They need us back under comatosis so that they can continue to creep through our house and steal.
We don't have any ties to Africa whatsoever. We don't have any African genes whatsoever. You know, my people have nothing to do with Africa whatsoever. You wait till 2024 to start saying this?
That's why it is imperative that we continue to wake up. That's why it is imperative that you continue to wake up your brethren, your family, your friends. Talk to them. You ain't got to beat it in their heads, but at least get them to understand the difference between us and them. There's a lot of Black Americans who still believe that we are Africans. There's a lot of Black Americans who believe we still Africans. And that's due to indoctrination. It's time and high time. Not only do we teach each other, teach our children that there's a difference. That's who we need to teach. They need to understand that that person is different from you. And that's okay. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Okay? I'm saying all that to say that the whole point is to get you to fall back asleep. But one thing about this awakening is once you wake up, no matter how hard you try, you cannot go back.
They got the nerve to say that there's plenty books and plenty research out here.
Huge number of tribal groups, and there's no way I can do this without perhaps overgeneralizing a little bit in some of my statements. All right, here's a painting of some Indians at Mission, San Francisco, or San Jose, I think, painted in the early 1800s by one of the visitors to the missions. And here we have a situation in which the Indians were permitted to hold one of their native ceremonies, whatever it may have been, but it was done by Indians who were converts to the missions, and they were portrayed in this way. And this is clearly reflects Aboriginal body painting, feathered headdresses, and all kinds of things which were there before the Spanish missionaries got there. That is a continuation of some aspects of native religious life.
Now, I do not know if this video right here is of them doing their native dance or they are inside of a studio. So I don't know if they were filming something, but this is a 1894 so-called Native Americans, the Indians who are doing their dance. And I don't know about you, but they don't look like the Native Americans that are on the plantation, my reservations today. So what do you think? It look like copper-colored people to me.
Do you realize that that's what they want you to think? That's what the powers that be, that's what they want you to think? They want you to separate from your original culture. They already brought you here to separate you from your original culture. Now they're brainwashing you with this new shit. You know what I mean? Making y'all think that y'all are the original Indians.
Now, young man, please allow me to interject right here, because what you're saying is starting to sound like satire. So you're saying that we were brought from Africa, And we were told that we have no language and no culture and given a new culture, a new language. And now after, what, 400 or 500 years, now they're coming back to tell us that, hey, we lied, you're not African, you're really Indian. You want us to believe that this whole march about being an Indian is coming from the powers that be? The very same powers that be that told us that we were 3/5 of a human, told us that we were nothing but property, chattel property at that. And now it's going to tell us, hey, you are the rightful owners of America. You are an Indian. Are you mad? Are you okay?
Them Indian people don't want y'all in their culture. They don't.
The question of the freedmen's citizenship dates back to the mid-1860s. President Andrew Johnson sent a delegation to Arkansas for negotiation with the tribes. In their agreement with the Creeks, Article 2 gave the freedmen the right to citizenship in the nation. 156 years later, Judge Mauser used that treaty as the foundation for her ruling.
Then you got a problem with every other Afrocentric person, you know, and especially with this hip-hop argument. Y'all got a problem with Jamaicans. Y'all got a problem with Puerto Ricans and other Afro-Latinos. We all know who we are. I'm half Jamaican myself. I'm Black American and half Jamaican. And by the way, my 90-something-year-old grandma, before she passed, who was born in the 1890s, yeah, she basically broke down the history of her family to me.
Oh, I get it. So we have to believe your Jamaican grandma, but we can't believe our indigenous American grandma? Make that make sense.
I'm African, okay? I ain't indigenous to this land. Never was. Don't even got a smidgen of indigenous blood. My sister got a little bit of indigenous blood because on her father's side, they probably had a little bit of native. You know what I mean? About 2% from her DNA report. My DNA report says 0.
Much people want to believe.
They want to believe they've gotten an answer.
And it's not fair of us to let them believe that we're giving them certain answers because scientifically, we just can't.
These DNA tests for ethnicity are entertainment value only.
William Gilliland is a biology professor at DePaul. He says DNA kits can be great for connecting family members and finding relatives, but the science for ethnicity testing isn't as concrete.
There's nothing that confident for ethnicity. There's no diagnostic nucleotide. You can say this person is from Europe, this person's from Africa.
And you know that for those of you that do have indigenous genes, there's nothing wrong with that.
So the TikTok girls want to know, what's your ethnicity?
A Southern lady from New Orleans.
Are you like mixed with anything?
Oh, just like a pot of gumbo. Got a little bit of everything.
You know what I mean? Indigenous people are beautiful people in this country. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's okay for you to claim your indigenous side, but to completely denounce being a African descendant is just total and complete freaking ignorance.
We don't oversell. I mean, we just say, look, we provide a service. If you're interested in exploring a tiny bit of your DNA and trace its ancestry, we can do that.
When you say it's a tiny little amount,
It's less than 0.1%.
and that's pretty teeny.
Yeah, but for people who know nothing about any of them, I think it's very...
Like, totally and completely freaking ignorant. And I'm waiting for one of y'all to come with some information and prove this tape. Because we can have a discussion all day. I'll bring up every study possible and show you every study possible that says you are lying.
No, Black Americans are American. They are not African. The vast majority of Black Americans living here today are American descendants of slavery. And because of this legacy of slavery, their connections to Africa are so distant and they have been severed that they do not have any real connections to it today. Nationality-wise, culture-wise, and everything else, they are American, not African. In fact, even the concept of ethnicity, their ethnicity would be Black American, not some form of African. And no, race does not make them African. Race is a social construct, and it's a pseudoscientific one at that. Not to mention, all human beings have their origins in Africa, depending on how far back we go. So this entire concept of what we have to consider the blacks African is just racism.
You know, it comes to a point where y'all start pissing me off. As a Black American, Black Americans are really starting to piss me off with the anti-blackness, because that's what it is. Why are y'all mad that we're being compared to Africans? Why is that upsetting you? Why is that bothering you? I've seen several videos, or I'm seeing several think pieces on Black Americans talking about how we don't look like Africans. Nigga, we Black. We all Black. Whether you from the United Kingdom, you know what I'm saying, Europe, whether you a Black American, wherever the fuck, give no fucks. Why are you getting mad that we're being compared to Africans? We look like them. Why are y'all getting mad that they're saying that we look alike, that we have similarities? That I've seen some videos of Africans saying that, you know, Black Americans look African, like there's really no distinction.
And I think y'all don't understand that two things or multiple things can be true at once. They can. First of all, Africa is a continent with many different languages, many different cultures, many different countries within the continent. So yes, there are distinctions. Like somebody that's from Sudan, like a Sudanese person, you could tell how they look versus a black person that was born in Britain. To me, I could see the distinctions, but I could also see the similarities as well. We do look alike. Yes, there are some distinctions, but there are a lot of similarities. So I'm trying to figure out why the fuck y'all mad that we're being compared to them. Why is that? It's like y'all are offended that we're being called African. And it's pissing me off because if somebody told me I look African, bitch, that mean I'm fucking Prussia, ho. Bitch, that mean I'm Prussia, ho. If somebody came up to me and said, you look African, bitch, you basically said I'm exotic. What? Bitch, you saying I'm exotic? Bitch, I feel like a zebra. Bitch, I feel like a fucking pelican or some shit. That's gonna make me feel fly as fuck. Like, you tooting my horn. I feel like you giving me a compliment. That's making me feel like, bitch, you saying I'm exotic. Because Africans are exotic. Bitch, you don't get no more exotic than Africans. If somebody tell me I'm African, bitch, I'm gonna ask them, what tribe you think I'm from? What tribe do you think I'm from? That's how I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that as a compliment. Why the fuck are y'all taking it as offensive that Africans are saying that we look like them? Bitch, I'm finna call all y'all out. Because if they say that you look like a native indigenous person, you will not be offended by that shit. If they, especially black people who have like looser texture hair, if somebody told you, oh, is you mixed with Puerto Rican? Oh, you mixed with this or that? You would not be offended by that shit. But because we're being compared to Africans, God forbid, because we are African, y'all offended by that shit. Why is that, bro? It's anti-blackness because why are you offended that you're being compared to Africans? My God, I beg you guys to stop this shit. Y'all are pissing me off. Like, y'all, bro. I would say this. The only one logical argument I heard was, somebody saying that they only say that to dark-skinned people, which is true. Y'all only compare dark-skinned people to Africans because I never hear y'all assuming that lighter-skinned black people are African. Y'all never compare them. Y'all never assume like, oh, you mixed with African. Because, light-skinned Africans do in fact exist. Just like light-skinned black Americans exist. Yeah. Light-skinned Africans exist all over. I don't really never hear y'all saying, is you African when it's a lighter-skinned person? I will agree with that argument. But still, nonetheless, if you're a black person and you're offended that someone's comparing you to an African, check yourself. Check yourself at the door. Because ask yourself, why does that offend you? If somebody ever tell me I look African as a black American, that's going to make my day. That's going to make my day, bitch. I'm going to be happy as smiling from ear to ear. You said I look what? I'm where? I'm going to go along with it. Yes, I am. Bitch, what tribe do you think I'm from? Yeah, I'm African. Yeah, I'm African. The fuck?
Anyways, welcome back, guys, and I hope you guys literally enjoyed every single clip I was able to roll out for you guys. And I've come to the point of realizing that, you see, these Africans, they will never change. They will never change. Africans will never change. That's the point that I've gotten to. That Africans will never change. If you check from the videos I was able to stitch out for you guys, you will literally listen to them of them saying that, oh, they are not blacks. Africans, oh, Africans. But you know the ironic and the annoying part is they want to always tell black Americans, you look African. I need to drink water. So they'll always tell black Americans, you look African. They'll always tell black Americans that they don't have culture. From the clip I stitched, you literally heard from the first clip I stitched, where a Nigerian woman, my own country for that matter, where a Nigerian woman is literally saying that, oh, when you get to America, you don't need to identify with Black Americans because Black Americans will just give birth, they sell drugs, they do this, they do that. Just identify yourself with the white folks where you can literally have peace of mind, get a place there and stay. And I've been saying it in all of my videos. One of the things that Africans can never desist from is idolizing white folks. And I don't have an issue that they're idolizing white folks, but I have an issue that in idolizing them, you have to bash a particular race. A particular race, you want them to identify with you. A particular race, you want them to always say, oh, we are one. That same race that you want to always say, oh, we look alike. You want to always bash that same race. And then after bashing, you go ahead to idolize and worship your white folks. You guys tag Black Americans are lazy, but Black Americans are the ones that made you guys to enjoy the fruit and labor of being in America. But you guys tag them lazy. You guys tag Black American products of one night stand, or single mother and the rest of that. But 99% of your brothers and sisters, even here in Africa, in Nigeria to be precise, even in this community where I'm staying, give birth to children as well. A lot of them are also single mothers. A lot of them abandoned the children, moved on with their life. Like, if we start rooting some of our histories, it's going to be a lot more bad to even listen to than all of the ones that people are attributing to Black Americans. You call Black Americans lazy, but in your own country, you don't even have the job to do. You don't have that job. There is no vacancy. There is no job. You can't get a decent job. But you call people that are paving way for you to come make money. I don't know how people think. I don't know why people don't read histories. And I keep saying it. The most important thing is read histories, understand history of every country you're going into. If I want to go to, let's say I want to go to United Kingdom, for example, UK, right? What I am supposed to do is to read the history and understand the in and out of UK. But a lot of you just say what you see on the line, say what you see on the internet, and boom, you just run with it so that Black Americans will be the black sheep. It's crazy. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Credit to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you, liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks. Also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And yes, with that being said, with no further ado, like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be saying bye and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah.